to the GCN Show.
Welcome to the GCN Show.
This week, while we really love cycling, and we really do, it might not be exactly perfect. So here are 6 things we'd change if we could.
Yes, we've also got news on the women's Paris-Roubaix, a speed limit for cyclists of 6 miles per hour, and a club to join for octogenarians.
Which, Dan, you can't join just yet, but you are at least over halfway there. So, yeah, over the hill, I guess. We should probably say.
This week in the world of cycling, we learned that the cobbled classics are as good as ever. Omloop on Saturday and Kuurne-Brussel-Kuurne on Sunday had some brilliant racing with a particular standout performance from Julian Alaphilippe and also Mathieu van der Poel, who lit up both races. Also Anna van der Breggen, who did the same, but more importantly, also went on to win.
Yeah, and with ease. By the look of it, I think you'd say, wouldn't you? Now, we also learned that just like the Pro Peloton now, GCN presenters can also be issued with red cards, it would seem. Not for super tucks, but for accuracy. So David Breed sent us a message. He said, on your show, 424, about cycling getting faster, Daniel Lloyd stated that Filippo Ganna, during winning stage 2 of the Tour of UAE time trial, broke 56 kilometers per hour. In fact, he didn't. It was something like 55.9-ish, which is not 56. Please correct yourself. So Dan, what have you got to say for yourself, mate?
I'm sorry. What can I say? I mean, mistakes do happen, don't they? But that was big and probably unforgivable.
Yeah, so to put your minds at rest, Dan has been given an official warning. So you're on thin ice now, Dan. Tread carefully. Now, this week we have given a lot of thought to things that we would change about cycling.
Yeah, now as Simon mentioned at the beginning, we absolutely love this sport of cycling, but aren't there things that you change if you could?
Well, yeah, number one for me, Dan, I wish it didn't take me quite so long to get ready to go out. So I can now do short rides of an hour that feel worthwhile, but with the pre-ride faff and the post-ride faff, that hour pretty much always doubles.
I completely agree, I've got to say on that one. A 1 hour ride in the UK in mid-January, well, that's more like 4 hours, isn't it, of getting dressed and ready to begin with, and then cleaning the bike, cleaning yourself, cleaning your clothes, and then cleaning the muddy footprints off the kitchen and the bathroom after you finish.
Yeah, followed finally by cleaning the inside of the washing machine. Yes, but no, my issue, Dan, goes beyond that, okay? So even in the dry, like when it's dry outside, it's a faff. I waste minutes and minutes trying to find missing arm warmers or leg warmers, and then deciding what gilet to wear or what weight of base layer. And thank God I don't have to choose what colour socks to wear, because then I think I'd probably never get out the door.
Well, I think you probably could sort that out by just being less disorganised, couldn't you?
Yeah, okay. Well, that's fair enough.
Anyway, there's always going to be some sort of faff, isn't there, with getting ready for cycling. And I think that's why I'm enjoying running so much at the moment. Sorry about this, but all I need is a t-shirt, a baseball cap for my lockdown hair, some shorts and some trainers, and I'm off.
And a t-shirt, hopefully. And socks as well. It's like you're turning over to the dark side, mate.
Wow, yeah. I did have socks. And you stop being elitist, Simon. We'll get back onto that later, won't we?
Well, yeah, to be fair, that is a point, actually. Is cycling elitist and snobby? That is definitely something that would have to change.
Well, it has typically been quite snobby, I would say, as a sport, isn't it? Riders looking down at others because they don't have the right kit, or they have their helmet too far back on their head, or they haven't matched the blooming tyre manufacturer's name up with the valves on the rim.
To be fair, we have perpetuated that sort of thing, to the point where people now tell me that my tyre logos aren't lined up with the valves on the rim, which I find annoying, but also I don't really care that much, if I'm honest. And I will admit that we have spent quite a bit of time insulting triathletes for lack of socks.
Should we stop that?
Yeah, no.
I'm not sure. Well, we do insult everybody, don't we? Even ourselves.
Most of all
ourselves a lot. However, I do hope that people realise that we say those things with tongue firmly in cheek, don't we?
I mean, I do have large ankles in real life.
Yeah, we've got a picture of them coming up later, haven't we? That doesn't really matter, size, does it?
No, it doesn't.
No. Our biggest aim as a channel is to get more people onto bikes, whatever bike that might be. We don't want to come across as elitist, and if we ever do, you can please feel free to tell us that we have been.
Yeah, red card. Although, Dan, here's a dilemma for you, okay? If you spot someone with their cycling helmet on backwards, do you say something to them, or do you not, because you don't want to come across as elitist or snobby?
I've spotted someone a year ago at the start of lockdown, and I did say something.
Did you?
Yeah, I was out with Jude, both on our bikes, I think, and at the end of a trailway near us, there was a lady stopped looking at her phone for directions, and she had her helmet on back to front. And I stopped there and said, just to let you know, you've got your helmet on back to front. And she said, thanks for letting me know. I wondered why the straps were feeling a bit uncomfortable. So she appreciated it. And I don't think I was being elitist.
No, maybe it's about, all these things that could come across as elitist. If you deliver it in the right way, whether that's wearing your helmet on backwards or your saddle's too high or too low or whatever, if you do it in a nice way, maybe it's not elitist. Because it's important to tell people this stuff.
Well, it is.
Not only might she have looked like a bit of a dork, it also wouldn't have actually worked as well if she'd fallen off. And
well,
there
is the safety aspect of that one, isn't there? Although someone did point out to you once on YouTube that your saddle was too high, was it, or too low? And
too high.
You didn't take that too kindly to
no,
that.
I didn't. I was just slightly annoyed that someone had told me that my saddle was too high. But I might then have put it down by 3 mil afterwards. But anyway, now moving on, Dan. I am definitely not a fair weather cyclist, but my enjoyment of riding in the rain is less than riding in the dry. So if I could, I would definitely change getting a wet bum and wet feet from cycling.
Well, you kind of can change that one, can't you? With mud guards, like fenders. I mean, they put a complete stop to a wet arse, didn't they?
All right, fair point. My contributions to this discussion so far have been get more organised and buy mudguards. So
yeah, you need to up your game.
Yeah, I do a little bit, sorry.
And one thing that might prevent more people from getting into our sport, which, as I said, is our aim here at GCN, and the next thing actually that I would like to change about this sport if I could, is how expensive it is.
Yeah, well, it can be, can't it? I mean, certainly I saw a lot of riders out enjoying the sunshine near me on Sunday. And it did strike me that they were all on bikes that must have been at least $2,500, if not more.
No, I spot a lot as well, and that is a hefty price tag, isn't it?
Yeah.
And whilst you can, of course, enjoy riding a bike that is far, far cheaper than that, I think the general cost of cycling is something that would put off many people from getting into the sport in the first place.
Yeah. I think that can be changed, though. And don't just mean like make stuff cheaper. I think more emphasis could be put on buying used second-hand cycling kit and also selling your old stuff. So to offset the cost of new kit, you sell your old stuff, having really looked after it to maintain resale value. So it's better for the environment, it's better for your wallet, and it's better for other cyclists too. And of course, some parts like chains and brake pads are consumables, they wear out, but like wheels, frames, saddles, bars, jackets, they got good resale value, haven't they?
There is that, yeah. It doesn't fix it, but it could definitely help, couldn't it?
Yeah.
Lastly, another thing that can put people off cycling is concern over safety, of course, out on the road. So I think that's the final thing that we change, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, you've got to say, haven't you, firstly, while there is a risk to riding on the road, statistics show that it is lower than what a lot of people believe that it is. So I think changing people's perception would be the place to start, wouldn't it? Because it's worth pointing out that inactivity and the issues arising from it is a far, far bigger risk to your health than actually going cycling.
True. And the risk that is there could be reduced, though, couldn't it? There are things that you can do yourself to try and make things safe when it comes to cycling. So route choice, perhaps how you ride on the road, being visible, etc., etc. But we can also all try and help each other by lobbying, can't we, for far better and safer cycling infrastructure locally.
Many towns and cities around the world are either already installing more bike lanes or at the very least making plans to better cater for cyclists and starting to prioritise cycling over motor vehicles. It's a painful process, isn't it? It's not going smoothly, certainly here in the UK. We certainly can't take it for granted, but it is happening.
Yeah, it is, but I think we can help it happen, can't we, by making our own voices heard.
Yeah.
Anyway, those are the things that we would change about cycling, but of course we'd like to hear what yours are as well, and you can leave those in the comment section below. Very much look forward to reading them. Quick update on GCN Plus now. Slightly boring one actually about compatibility to start with, but I know loads of you want to watch our films and documentaries on a bigger screen.
It's like the bottom bracket standards, isn't it, of the app.
You can already, of course, Chromecast or use Apple AirPlay, but there are now Android TV and Fire Stick apps, and we're just waiting on Samsung to approve a Samsung TV app as well. So happy days on that front. And then in terms of what's coming up on GCN Plus, big weekend, isn't it? We've actually just recorded the Strada Bianca men's and women's preview show, so watch out for that on GCN Racing. That is on Saturday, and it's live everywhere in terms of GCN Plus territories except for New Zealand and Latin America. I mean, the start list is mouth-watering, isn't it, for that one?
Unbelievable.
And then, Sunday it's the start of Paris-Nice, 8 days of cracking racing. That one's available in Europe and the Asia-Pacific, excluding China, New Zealand and Australia.
Yeah. Saturday is a write-off as far as I'm concerned. Strada Bianca all afternoon. Right, and then on the film side of things, it's a bumper month, this one. So remember now that we're releasing 2 pieces of content on GCN Plus each and every week. The first one is Mark Beaumont's Africa solo film, which, well, part 1 and 2, in fact, which is just brilliant.
Yeah.
Super cool.
For years, I've had a dream. To ride from the top of Africa to the bottom. An epic ride of over 10,000 kilometres.
I feel like I've been blown all the way down Egypt and Sudan for this first week. Couldn't have asked for a better start. Tons of these buses on the road. Absolutely wild, that wind. We're gonna eat here and then sleep over here. One bed which we can fight over. I'm only carrying 1 spare tire. You just start to question whether I've made the right choices. It's fast, isn't it? This will put anything in the Alps in its place. But it gets swallowed up by a hole in the earth.
The world record was 59 days and 8 hours.
My dream is to go sub 50. I've been looking forward to this with some trepidation.
Great stuff. I haven't watched either part 1 or part 2 yet. I love the 80 Days. I've watched them twice, so I'm very much looking forward to that one as well. It's time to move on now, though, to Connor and check in with him to see how much of his pro fitness he has managed to regain by training on Zwift.
He's getting close to the end now, isn't he?
I thought you said he was getting close to Pro Tour fitness, so we might lose him to racing again. No, he's not that good.
We'll just sabotage it, apparently, shall we?
It's Thursday morning, everyone. I'm going to level with you. I am cutting it fine this morning. Not ready or on my bike. I haven't even turned my computer on, so I'm rushing.
Made it in the nick of time. Just about 30 seconds to spare. And I've got a pretty solid session this Thursday morning. 50 minutes, sweet spot. Looks like we've got some progressive 1-minute efforts up to 405 watts. A 20-minute ramp effort. Flipping heck. And then we have 8 times 2 minutes with some 1-minute kicks. So basically 8 times 375 watts with a 1-minute recovery. Absolutely solid session, this. All right, Jesse's riding his bike with us. You riding your bike?
Yeah. Hello,
Uh-oh, can you pass that to Daddy, please? Sunday morning, and after a pretty brutal winter, finally the sun is out. It feels kind of like summer. Back out on the bike with a trailer, and just getting in an easy loop today. Had a bit of a misstep yesterday with the mechanical, so I actually missed yesterday's ride. But not to bother, back out today, and he's absolutely glorious. And Jesse is still enjoying it, aren't you, Jesse? Say go, Daddy, go! Yeah, go, Daddy, go! Chugga, chugga! Oh, hold on, low flying branch. Not even joking, low flying branch. Okay, Tuesday morning and into my Zwift session. Today I've got over-unders, so it's a 50-minute session, looking really interesting actually. 3 minutes just below threshold, 3 minutes over threshold by quite a lot actually. I'm a bit nervous for that set. And then 3 minutes below again. I'm doing that 3 times in the session. It's gonna be quite a hard one. Really gonna get the most out of me in this one, and people are already starting to get on the start line here now. And I'm really looking forward to the session because, well, it feels like I've had a little bit of an unstructured weekend actually. Yesterday I was out with GMBN, not a structured ride in the slides. It was great fun. We went off-road a little bit on our road bikes, and you can catch what we got up to on the weekend on the channel. But yeah, it wasn't structured, so I'm looking forward to getting on the trainer and getting into my intervals, because I am approaching the end of this training plan. Next week is going to be the last week. I'm going to be quite sad actually, and then it's time to see how fit I got.
Next up, GCN Inspiration, a first, a second and a third prize on offer every week. All you need to do is submit your inspirational cycling photos or videos to the GCN app. We'll pick out our favourite 3 and they will all get a prize. A third prize this week is a GCN Elite water bottle, the 550ml version, not giving you anything too big. And the winner of that is Racing Snakes.
I can't believe this didn't win, Dan. This is the most inspirational
I can't believe
photo.
it's in here full stop. I said, look at this site, and next it was in 3rd place.
Yeah. Well,
Anyway, here's the photo in case you wonder what we're talking about.
Yeah, I couldn't award it the win just because that would seem a little bit right. But anyway, so you got 3rd place. Although you're lucky you got in here at all, actually, Racing Snakes. Just came across this photo I took on Whernside at the Three Peaks cyclocross race. So that's in Yorkshire. We've actually got a video from that if you want to go check. It's a good one. Not sure who this is, but it does seem to have rather big ankles. Sorry,
but it does seem like a...
Not sure who it is, but does seem to have rather big ankles. I mean, they do look quite large in that one, I'll give you that. But,
it's all right, that photo. It doesn't really inspire me to go out riding, not sure why. Right, in 2nd place this week, getting themselves an endurance book and a core blue t-shirt, is Winston Leg Thigh with this early morning ride in Mount Hatchiman, which we're not sure where it is. We think it might be in Japan, but we're not entirely sure.
We Googled it, but Google didn't tell us where it was. So,
3rd time lucky. First time I've made it up here this year. First time my free hub C's not long into the ride. And last weekend I had to turn around about a K1.5 from the top because of ice and snow. But worth making it to the top this time because that's... Well, there's a few photos sent in, but the one that we've chosen is this one, and that's a cracking shot.
Oh, amazing. It looks fantastic, doesn't it?
But not as good as first place.
No, but please can you tell us where it is? Because, to
be fair, we didn't spend long on Google, did we?
No, but you don't have to spend long, do you? If you don't get it first time, you might as well just give up.
It's a bit like asking people to do hacks and bodges for you, isn't it? Just throw it out to the viewers, they'll know.
Yeah,
Mount
exactly.
Hatchiman.
Right, anyway, first prize. You alluded to it. It is a cracker. Winning a Word logo T-shirt, Stargazer. Do you know what that is?
I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is either. Might be a colour.
Sounds good.
A core red sweatshirt. I know what that is because you're wearing one, Dan.
Yeah.
And an elite GCN water bottle in red to go with your new jumper. Anyway, the winner is More Animal. Check it out.
That is an unbelievably good
Wonderful
photo.
winter gravel ride. He said, inspired by Mark, his book, and all the endurance video he's done with the GCN team, I've been getting out for 3 to 5 hour winter rides. Sometimes it's a challenge and sometimes it's pure pleasure. Yesterday was one of those days. Wowzers. That's pretty cool, isn't it?
I'm not sure that his valves are lined up at 6 o'clock. No, I'm joking, of course. What a cracking photo that is. My goodness. It does look chilly, doesn't it? But
it does look cold. Do you know what?
Brilliant.
More Animal. I don't want it to sound like a plug, but if you do like Mark Beaumont, you should definitely get GCN Plus because there's some seriously inspirational Mark Beaumont films on there.
I think we should do a documentary wherever this is. Anyway,
it might be more like a nature film if it's about hoarfrost. Do you think?
People have been to nature films, won't they? It looks like that.
Well, I mean, they are. Like, there's some very successful nature-related channels out there. I'm just not sure we're qualified.
Yeah.
I don't know, we can swat up on it.
Anyway, make sure you get involved ready for next week's GCN Inspiration. Doesn't have to be quite as good as that to win a prize, to be perfectly honest. But do that on the GCN app, and we'll pick out 3 winners next week.
If it features either me or Dan in it, it's probably a surefire winner.
Yeah.
It's now time for cycling shorts.
Cycling shorts now, and firstly, news of the first ever Women's Paris-Roubaix that is coming up soon. As if the prospect of having a Women's Paris-Roubaix wasn't mouth-watering enough, news came in last week for the so-called wildcard team, so those that don't get selected automatically through their rankings.
Yeah, and it means that taking the start line, we will also now have 2 cyclocross stars if they're selected by their team. Former world champion Sanakant and Celine Del Carmen Alvarado.
Yeah, and of course, another former world champ, Marianne Vos, would be on the start line anyway for her Jumbo-Visma team. And the current world champ, Lucinda Brand, as well, will be there. She rides for Trek Segafredo during the road season, of course.
Yeah, she'd be my favourite, I think, actually.
Would she?
Women's Paris-Roubaix, yeah. And if on the men's you throw in Wout van Aert, Mathieu van der Poel and Stibar into the mix, I think that's what you call a Super Sunday. I cannot wait for that one.
No. Right, now, Dan, here is one for you, mate. This jumped out when I saw it. Even you might get into trouble with the police in Melbourne for going too fast on a bike.
Really? What's the speed limit there? 20? 25 miles an hour?
Nope. 6.
Thanks, Si.
Yep,
Yeah.
6 miles per hour. To be fair, it is on a shared use bike path, but Channel 7 News in Australia are reporting that police will be out with speed guns and be able to hand out a maximum fine of $1,600 to speedy cyclists.
Crikey. Anyway, riding slowly and responsible on shared used paths, I'm all for. But that does sound pretty severe, doesn't it? I wonder if running more than 6 miles per hour is banned as well.
Well, it's a good point. And bear in mind, you have to wear a bike helmet at all times when cycling in Australia. Maybe you'll also need a lid for running as well. You do actually need one, having recently lost it on a gnarly descent.
Whilst running. I hurt
yes.
my hip actually, yeah. Thanks for the sympathy, Si. Tripped over my shoelace. No, I tripped over a root. Elsewhere in the world, there is better news of bike paths. 3 academics from the University of Toronto have developed a way of accurately quantifying the impact of cycling infrastructure on urban areas. So in the case of Toronto's 25 kilometres of pop-up bike lanes that were added last year, it's increased access to 100,000 jobs and boosted low-stress routes to work and leisure by up to 20%.
Wow. Now, one other take-home from it was that the new infrastructure that had the greatest impact was that which joined up with the existing network of bike routes, which kind of makes complete sense, doesn't it? Because there's nothing more stupid than a protected bike lane that exists only where a road is wide enough and then disappears when the road is narrower, where you kind of need it more.
Yeah, very true. Fine for experienced cyclists, but not much good if you're trying to get around with your kids, really, is it? Now we've got some tech news for you next. So the Type A Cycle Show, it's been a firm fixture really on our calendars here at GCN, hasn't it, for a few years?
Yeah, since 2016, in fact. This year, though, the show, for obvious reasons, has had to be moved online. But that means that you can all have a good look around as well. And I strongly recommend you do, because it is a treasure trove of weird and wonderful and very often brilliant tech that you might not otherwise hear about. So well worth having a look.
In fact, Ollie and Alex over on GCN Tech will be offering up some GCN swag to the person who uncovers the best piece of tech from the show. So make sure you do take a look in depth.
Oh, yeah, they also actually have a video coming up of some of the coolest bits of tech this week that they've actually managed to get their hands on. Stuff that's been sent here. Yeah,
Actual
which is super cool. So that'll be over on the GCN Tech channel this week.
Brilliant. Lastly, and we're going to leave Cycling Shorts, in fact, with a shout out to our older viewers. So if you're in your 80s or 90s, listen up.
Yeah, listen up! Sorry, cheap shot. The fact that you're on YouTube at all is a hell of a lot better than where we'll be in a few years' time. Anyway, Ray Marantet from Mississauga, Ontario, I hope I got that one right, got in touch with us to ask if we could do a quick shout out to the Royal Society of Octogenarian Cyclists, which unbelievable, an international group with over 350 members. And if you would like to join, then there is a link to their Facebook group in the description beneath this video.
Yeah, see if we can get them up to 1,000 members. That'd be cool, wouldn't it?
Oh,
you know, when
amazing.
you just said, Si, that that's better than where we'll be in a few years' time, YouTube. Do you think we might get a sack? Is that what you're implying?
I'm more implying the fact that I don't really know what TikTok is. I'm at 37. You might think that I would have a TikTok account, but and Snapchat. I missed that completely.
Hack / bodge of the week now. Crack straight on to the first one, which came in from Juhos. A DIY storage box for a time trial bike. Built a storage box for my Cervelo P3 using 3D printed technology. Hack! As the frame shape is quite complex, I needed some reference in the 3D software to model and fit the box to the frame.
Wow.
For that, I used a technique called photogrammetry that generates 3D shapes from a bunch of photos.
Wow.
They just made up a name. They probably know that they'd fool me, definitely.
Well, yeah, we're completely bamboozled, aren't we?
It was a hack.
Yeah, absolutely, it's a hack. No, you know what? Like, there's a few bike brands, aren't there, doing that? Like, it is a triathlon thing. As you say, I think BMC have got an aero bike like that. It makes your bike more aero. It's the best place you can put weight on your bike, isn't it, for bike handling? I think that should be like an aftermarket thing. Yeah, absolutely it is. I mean, you can still, if you did it low enough, you could still keep your bottle cages on there as well, couldn't you?
Hack.
Yeah, I'd keep it in a tube down there for sure.
7% went with bodge for that one, strangely, but
Weird.
it's a hack from us.
Yeah, hack. You got one of those bikes as well, haven't you, mate?
I've got a vintage Cervelo P3, yes, that I keep trying to get Si or the tech team to do a video on. They keep refusing. Don't know why. Moving on to this one from D. Cardo. Death Trap Recumbent Mark 1. After learning to weld as a cost-effective... Is that bodge?
Alarm bells are ringing.
3D
no, not
print,
yet.
hack, weld, bodge. After learning to weld as a cost-effective way of maintaining my 1973 VW camper, what better way to utilise my newfound skills than to build a recumbent bike from some skip bikes? So 2 mountain bikes, a Fire Chief, and a Marvin the Monkey bike. I'm going towards hack now. Marvin the Monkey bike. Also a child's car seat, heavily drilliums to allow for adult hips. Wow.
Well, if you've got 2 front wheels on it, I think you have by the look of it.
It does, yeah. Stable.
I suppose my thought is that if you just learned to weld, why would you build a recumbent? But they are fast, and that does look speedy. So I think I'd give that a hack.
Yeah, I'm going hack. Well, people were on the fence in voting, weren't they? 51% hack, 49% bodge.
Yeah, well,
I'm impressed. I've got to say, I'm impressed. If you've not long learnt to weld, that's not bad.
Absolutely, yeah. No, I'd say, I mean, it's better than what Hank did when he learnt to weld.
This next one comes in from DJ Timber, Canadian bike lock. Whilst nobody is stealing this bike, the locking mechanism is about as useful as Oliver Bridgewood in a 4-foot one.
You said it, not us.
Yeah. Cue Bolivar Fridgewater comment underneath this show. Right, anyway, that's a bodge from me.
Oh yeah, a bodge from me. I like it though.
45% of people said that was a hack. What are you talking about?
Well, to be fair, actually, it wouldn't need to be much snowier, and you wouldn't need a lock at all, because no one would know it was there.
True.
The only thing you got to worry about is snow plows.
You've got to figure out where you left it though. Moving on. Phil T. Garner, reusable snack wrap.
Ooh.
I was looking for a way to wrap rice cakes and flapjacks, etc., which didn't involve single-use plastics. My mum designed and made. See, passing it on to somebody else to make for you again. We told you, this is banned.
If it's your mum or your dad, whatever, I think that's all right, isn't
it? Their mum designed and made a few of these out of ripstop nylon. They include adjustable Velcro for different size pieces and a tab on one edge, so you can open them with one hand and your teeth.
Genius. So Mrs. Garner, I think you're onto something there with that design.
Yeah.
I think that is that's something you could sell. If there was if the inside maybe wasn't ripstop nylon, it was something that was a little bit I don't know, more I don't know what hygienic surfaces for thingamajiggies. But yeah, I like that very much.
Yeah. Definite hack, that one.
Sure.
89% of people go with hack. Love the GCN red colour there.
Yeah,
well.
flapjack looks nice as well.
I'm not sure about rice cakes in there though. Surely they'd just sort of crumble a bit too much, wouldn't they?
Well, I don't
you
know.
put them in foil, don't you? Anyway,
Yeah, you would, yeah. No, I think that's great.
brilliant idea. Moving on. GM Crop with this cargo bike spotted in a marina on the south coast.
I keep looking at that last one, mate. I think it looks a bit like a G-string or something. I need to get that out of my head now.
Yeah, move on to the next one.
Yeah,
quickly.
next, sorry.
There's not a whole lot going on with the next one, is there? Bodge. I'm just going to say bodge straight away.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, there's not a massive amount, is there? But, you know, basically the photo's not good enough. I can't see. I don't get enough detail. That bracket might be 3D printed.
Is it that, or are you still thinking about G-strings? So should we move on to the next one?
Let's move on, yeah.
Bodge for that one. Then there's this one from Casper Kirsch. Rubber shoe cover never survives long. If the rubber shoe cover is dead after only 6 months, be creative. And they've used some inner tube patches to sew up the holes or to mend the holes.
There we go. That's quite a good idea, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd say that's a hack.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely think shoe covers are the kind of thing that should be mended, because you're right, they can go a bit quickly, can't they?
Yeah, they're not cheap, good ones.
No, exactly. But you know, a few stitches and job's good, or indeed inner tube patches. Which, you got
what?
I don't know. Doesn't inner tube glue kind of rot the rubber? Isn't that how it glues it on? I don't know. I'm talking out of my pay grade here.
Presumably, it doesn't rot rubber if it's used to patch inner tubes.
Well, I mean, that would be a smart way of looking at it. Yeah, no, it's probably fine then. Job's good. Hack.
Right, and last up this week, Wall Art Tron from Rich330. Having earned my Zwift Tron bike, I decided to make my very own trophy for completing the challenge.
No
made from a
way.
gloss-faced plywood with colour-changing lights in the style of a Tron. Wow.
That is good commitment. Unbelievable.
Amazing, yeah. Well, that's a hack from me.
There's a hack from me.
Good one to finish on that. 89% of you saying hack as well.
Yeah, and congratulations for getting your Tron, Rich. Nice
I don't know how many years we've been doing hacks and bodges for, but I just never get bored of them. They're brilliant.
No.
You just get some genuine rubbish in, but you also get in some stuff like the reusable food bags that you just think, well, that could be a product.
Yeah.
Amazing. Please continue to send them in over on the GCN app. The ones for next week are already there for you to vote on, but put them in now and they'll be available for us to look at in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah, you're a talented and creative bunch, but best of all, you've got an excellent sense of humour, most of you. That chap at the beginning of the video, I'm not so sure about that. 55.9 k's an hour. Caption competition now, that part of the show where you get a chance to get your hands on a coveted GCN Elite water bottle. All you got to do is put a witty caption to a photo that we're about to give you in the comment section down below. We shall start, as always, with the results from last week. Dan, the photo was?
This from a stage of the UAE Tour, which was broken up due to crosswinds. The winner, Johnny King. Caption: upset riders reduced to tears by strong wind. TIERS. You will see there.
Loved that one.
Very clever use of words there.
Genuinely, Johnny, that was great. You get in touch and we will get a water bottle over to you.
Yep.
This week's photo is this intriguing looking image of Mads Pedersen after Kuurne Brussels Kuurne at the weekend.
On Sunday, yes. I'll get you started. Who says you can't turn a donkey into a racehorse, eh? Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Kuurne Brussels Kuurne. Yeah, this is Mads Pedersen, as Si said, who actually gave his donkey to Jasper Stuyven, who's a big fan of donkeys, apparently. True story, bro.
Really?
Yeah.
As in, he gets a real life donkey as well as a...
Oh, no. I think he just gave the cuddly toy donkey to Jasper. I'm not sure if Jasper actually owns any donkeys that are real life or not.
Okay, well, that'd be the next step if you're a fan of donkeys, wouldn't it, to own one?
Yeah, it would be. We're going very much off topic here.
We are.
But leave your best captions in the comment section down below. The winner next week will get themselves a GCN Elite water bottle. As ever, just before we get on to what's coming up over the next 7 days on GCN, we're going to read out a few of our favourite comments from the last 7 days worth of videos, starting with this one from Spencer Gresson. This is under the show last week, wasn't it? A comment from the guy sweating all over the stairwell. I have a towel. Also, this is the peak of my cycling career being on GCN. Bo joke.
If you didn't see last week, go check it out. But yeah, Spencer basically stole an extra square footage for his apartment by setting up his indoor trainer on the communal stairwell, which...
But he was on the top floor, wasn't he?
He was on the top floor, so there wasn't that much passing
it.
traffic. But if it was me indoor training in a communal area, there'd be just like a waterfall running down all 14 stories.
Plumbers being called in for leaky ceilings.
That's right, no amount of towels is going to stop that one. But anyway, there we go. Spencer, thank you very much for getting back in touch. That put smiles on our faces. Right, under the Amazon Superbike video, I thought this was quite a good comment. Light, strong, cheap, pick any two. To which Hans Verst replies, pick one in this case, cheap. This bike won't last long if ridden properly. Although, that's not quite true, is it? Because there were a few comments where people were saying actually the Amazon bike was what got them into road cycling. So there we go.
Wow,
that's cool, isn't it?
So we should stop being elitist again, shouldn't we?
Well, indeed. Although the concern with that bike is that it wasn't
safe.
Well, yeah. I mean, it wasn't as good as it could be, maybe for 250
For that price.
quid. Yeah, there we go.
AJ Racer said it was mighty kind of Alex to ride a garbage can so that Ollie could get a few wins under his belt. I thought the same thing actually when I watched that. Meanwhile, under the video, you need to know Jenny Graham, geo-hiking Yanni put women power. This video has convinced me to get GCN Plus finally. I don't really care about the racing aspect, but I'm excited to see content of a fellow adventurous woman on a backpacking bike trip.
There we go. Yeah, there was a lot of love for that video. Rightly so, in fact. Topped out, in fact, with this one from Eric Webber, who said, Jenny may be the single greatest human being to have ever lived. What a legend.
High praise indeed.
But also, Juan003, finally someone who can give proper winter advice on GCN. Just thought, well, that's a good point, actually. Maybe it was snowy, wasn't it?
Maybe our Canadian followers should let us know whether that's true or not.
Oh, good point. I mean, it wasn't minus 92, so yeah, maybe that doesn't count as winter. When it's just minus 10 and snowy.
Right, let's move on to what's coming up this week. So on Wednesday, we are going to show you how to correctly fit your cleats. Thursday, there's a bit of a break, isn't there? There's no indoor training video.
Well, there is an indoor training video, but it's on GCN Training as opposed to on GCN.
Oh, there is over there. Okay, we've
right.
also on GCN Racing got a preview on Thursday of Paris-Nice, all being well, so look out for that one. On Friday, 7 things pros can do that pros can't do, in fact, that we can. Guess what a couple of those might be.
Yeah, indeed. Right, on Saturday, what happens when mountain bikers take you on a road ride? So basically, our friends over at Komoot are doing something really cool actually for Strada Bianca this weekend. So they're trying to encourage everyone to get out and ride gravel on their road bikes. So plan your own gravel ride, use the Komoot app, and it'll tell you which are the best gravel roads to ride. When we got wind of this, we thought, well, why don't we team up with GMBN and we can go on a ride together. But, well, when mountain bikers plan road rides, it's not quite what you expect. So anyway, that one is Saturday's video. Also, I wanted to give a shout on the tech channel. Alex is doing a video, which is why I will never use inner tubes again, which I thought was quite interesting. And then on Sunday, just how tough are electronic group sets? We tried to destroy Di2, and this is what happened. So there we go.
Release the bike!
Well, that brings us to the end of this week's GCN show. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please give us a thumbs up down below. By the way, if you've already subscribed to the channel, but you haven't yet clicked the bell notification icon below, what that does is alerts you each and every time we upload a new video. So if you haven't done that, feel free to do so.
Absolutely. Well, and don't forget GCN Racing, GCN Training, and GCN Tech channel as well, because you need to watch videos from all of those too.